Laura says, I want to live on the Big Island, but to fix up a house, how likely I'm to find supplies? And similarly, we've got one over here from Tom, Houston, Texas. He says, I'm considering buying some land in Kona. Would like to know what is the average cost per square feet for building a new house between 1,700 and 2,000 square feet. So Dylan, can you kind of, I mean, we've touched on this before a little bit. Maybe you could just talk a little bit more about, what we're looking for: renovation costs, access to supplies, buy versus build. You've talked about this before, but I think it's worth going back over.
So the easy question to access to supplies, no problem at all. We have a Lowe's, a Home Depot. We have HPM, which is basically a local version of Lowe's and Home Depot. We have Costco. So if you want to there's lots of good building materials at Costco. So no issue at all in terms of getting materials. And a lot of those companies, if you want to custom order stuff, we'll bring it in, and you can save on shipping when you're going through one of those big stores. So no issue there. From a cost per square foot. So there's the simple answer, which normally you're going to be looking at $200 to $300 a square foot to build a house. But I always tell people, make sure you're looking at all of the other costs that can go into that. Because when you buy a piece of property, there are basically two types of properties you're going to buy. One, which is in an already subdivided neighborhood that has utilities to the lot. It's already been graded. It has a house pad. It may have a driveway. And of course, the cost for those lots are going to be significantly higher because they've put all of that upfront work in to make the lot buildable. On the flip side, you can get a piece of property for significantly less, 30-40% the cost of the previous lot that I talked about, but there's going to be some more costs for you to get to the point where you can build. Do you have to do grading? Do you have to put in a driveway? Do you have to bring electric and water to the lot? There's a lot of other costs that can go into the total cost outside of just the cost to build. So there's more to think about. Just looking at the per square foot cost to build can be deceiving sometimes, and you want to make sure you really do your due diligence and know exactly what your all-in costs are before you pull the trigger and make a decision on purchasing a lot and moving forward with building.
Yeah, I remember actually back in when was this? Early 90s. I want to say like 92, 93. I'm not too sure, something like that. We bought we bought one of these, $25,000 lots on the Big Island. And it was kind of trippy because, you go over there, it was completely raw jungle. And we of course had the graded and all that kind of stuff. And I just remember, having a tractor. There was a guy who came on, and he brought, heavy equipment. And, I was kind of just tripping out on the idea that, we were the first human beings since the beginning of time to be developing this piece of land, because it was like lava rock land and, had big trees on it and stuff like that. Scott, now Dylan, you said $200 to $300 per square foot. Is that what your number was for Kona side?
Yeah, and that really depends on what type of house you're building, right? I mean, what kind of materials do you need? If you want really long spans and you got to use 6x12 beams and stuff, the cost can go up. I mean, so it's really dependent on the type of house you build. HPM and Hansudor have package homes where you can buy the whole entire house for 70-80 grand, right? I mean, in terms of materials, and then you just got to get somebody to build it. So you can reduce the cost per square foot by doing that. Your roofing material is a big determinant of cost, because you can go from regular iron roof to, concrete shingles. It can be very expensive. Your siding, I mean, there's lots of different things. What kind of flooring? Are you putting real hardwood floors in, or just carpet or laminate floors? I mean, there's tons of variables.
Yeah, so. gold-plated bathrooms and things like that. Yeah, Scott, so Dylan said the rule of thumb for Kona, give or take, it varies a lot, $200 to $300 per square foot. Is there a difference? Is Oahu about the same? How is Oahu different from what Dylan said?
No, it's about the same. And then once you get north of that number, then you're getting then you're talking custom factors up to $1,000 a square foot roughly. And I've even about up to $1,000 a square foot on the custom side.
Okay, that's like those crazy custom homes. Okay, so my takeaway, and this is that cost per square foot, it's really going to be about the same one place or another in Hawaii. It's really all those other things really that Dylan had really alluded to, whether it's how prepared is the lot, is it raw or lava rock that you're kind of doing for the first time, is it fully developed? Scott, you had something you want to say?
Yeah, and so for most of Oahu, you're connected into city sewer, but you get out the Windward Coast, North Shore, and parts of the Leeward Coast. Now you're talking septic. You don't have the city sewer.